Deep beneath the Egyptian sands lie secrets. Tombs, shrouded in darkness, hold the preserved bodies of a glorious past. These mummies, wrapped in linen, are more than just remains. They are vessels of a lost civilization, imbued with an aura of power and mystery. Ancient Egyptians believed in the afterlife, in a world beyond the reach of mortal men. To navigate this treacherous journey, they preserved the bodies of their dead. Little did they know their meticulously prepared mummies would one day fuel a strange and morbid fascination across the sea. For centuries, these tombs lay undisturbed, hidden from the world above. Then came the plunderers, lured by the whispers of gold and riches. They desecrated the tombs, disturbing the eternal slumber of the ancients. But it wasn't just gold they found. The mummies themselves became a commodity, traded and transported across continents. These ancient remains, once revered, were about to meet a fate their preservers could never have imagined. News of the mummies spread through Europe like a whispered secret. They arrived on ships smelling of exotic spices and decay. These weren't just curiosities for private collections. They were destined for a surprising destination, the apothecary. The dusty shelves of Europe's apothecaries were already home to peculiar ingredients. Dried herbs, powdered minerals and animal parts filled jars, each promising to cure what ailed you. But the arrival of the mummies introduced a new level of strangeness to these medicinal arsenals. Mummies, ground into a fine powder, became the latest miracle cure. Known as mummy powder or mumia, this gruesome ingredient was believed to hold extraordinary healing properties. It found its way into tinctures and plasters, promising to cure everything from headaches to epilepsy. The logic? If the Egyptians could preserve bodies for eternity, surely their essence held the secret to longevity and well-being. At least that's what the apothecaries claimed. The use of mummy powder wasn't entirely based on superstition. There was a certain logic to it, at least by the standards of the time. The ancient Egyptians used bitumen, a type of asphalt, in their mummification practices. Bitumen, some argued, had medicinal properties. It was, after all, a natural substance, and natural substances were the cornerstone of ancient medicine. Therefore, consuming a bit of the afterlife, infused with bitumen, might just imbue the living with some of its preservative power. It was a twisted sort of logic, but logic nonetheless. And so, the sick and the desperate lined up, eager to swallow their dose of the macabre. Headaches, stomachaches, even the plague mummy powder was touted as the cure-all. Never mind the ethical implications of grinding up human remains and consuming them. The allure of an ancient cure, steeped in the mystery of the pyramids, proved too tempting to resist. What started as a niche remedy soon exploded in popularity. The mummy craze swept across Europe, turning the dead into a sought-after commodity. The demand for mummy powder soared, far outstripping the supply of actual Egyptian mummies. This led to a rather creative solution. Enterprising merchants, sensing an opportunity, began to manufacture their own mummies. The recently deceased, particularly those who died in unfortunate circumstances, were suddenly in high demand. They were treated with a hasty approximation of Egyptian techniques, then ground up and passed off as the real deal. It was a ghastly business, but business was booming. Ironically, the popularity of mummy medicine led to its downfall. As the demand increased, the authenticity of the product decreased. People began to question whether that powdery substance they were swallowing was truly from ancient Egypt or just the ground-up remains of their unfortunate neighbor. The illusion shattered, and the appetite for mummy powder began to wane.